All right, folks. My Leo producer has directed me to sit down so she can be in the shade. I want to tell you a couple of stories about this area, and before we continue. Uh, Years ago, I had a fiance, and she had a young daughter, and we used to come up here. In those days, you could drive almost into the center of this alcove, and we'd drive up there and we'd camp. And they had a huge bonfire area. It was just beautiful, surrounded by like I said, 270 degrees of mountains, and there were squirrels, and down in the river there were beavers, and it was just an incredible area to be and to camp. However, one night my fiance and I were in a tent, two-man tent, and her daughter was in the car with locked doors, of course. And my fiance leaned over and said, "Robert, look!" And I looked up, and there was this huge silver object that looked like kind of like a moon, but it was very, very silver. And she said, "Look at the full moon." And then she rolled over and went back to sleep. And I got to thinking about that, and I was staring out this little cubbyhole window that we had in the tent, and it looked awful silver to be a moon, and there was no objects, like a man in the moon or any of that. So I got out of the tent, and I went over and checked on her daughter and knocked on the window. I said, "Are you all right?" She goes, Yeah, but because I've been having a bad dream. So I said, "Well, just lock the doors." The next morning, I had my fiance and her daughter. I said, we packed up, and she goes, "Well, we got a couple more days. We're going to camp." And I said, "No." I said, "We got to get out of here now." And we went home that day, and I showed her on a calendar there was no full moon that night. There wasn't even a quarter moon. And she goes, "Well, what was it?" And I believe in my heart it was either a hallucination, even though we weren't doing any mind-altering drugs. It was either a hallucination or it could have been an alien ship. Now, for those of you that are going, Robert's completely and totally out of his mind at this point. He's crazy, and I'm going to change the station. You don't have to. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. So this is a very special place, and and there have been other things that happened in this area that I can relate to you, or relate to you maybe another time. But this was a very, very special place to go, and then the Hayman fire destroyed it, obviously. Beautiful, beautiful surroundings now. We've got some more black-eyed Susans. We've got this tree, this magnificent tree. I just want to direct Linda this, the colors of this tree. Look at this. And if you can't walk around here, Linda, and look at the dynamic grays and beiges in this tree. Of course, it's probably long dead, but nonetheless, it's pretty exciting. And on this side, you can really get a example of the deep grays in it. And this, after everything's said and done, this is what rebirth is all about, and death and rebirth. It looks like the insects have taken it up as a home and a shelter and a McDonald's. There's holes in it where the creatures have been eating into it. Right over here is another pine tree that's long dead. Probably push that over, but I'll let somebody else, another creature, do that. And it's just the remains of an area that's reconstituting itself. We're standing right over a stream right now, stream bed, and get Linda to shine down there, see. And this was the advent of erosion after the Hayman fire. And of course, all this around here is granite that's been ground up and forced down this creek bed, or now a creek bed. So we're going to try to continue on up a little bit, and maybe we'll come to an impasse up here and we won't be able to continue. But I just want you guys to understand. Look at this. This is the alcove. This is where some of the surrounding area was to this center point. And it's dead. Another dead tree. thing about these dead trees is they're so magnificent in their death, and the colors are grays and stark blacks, and you can see where the worms are over a couple of things. But we're not in poison oak. All right, here's a bush. Excuse me. Here's a bush of rose hips. These are natural roses, and they will give us great vitamin C. But they have to turn hard. If they become a rose, that's even better. So those are rose hips, and I think I think this is poison oak. I don't know, but I think it is. So we're going to continue on this path and get by the poison oak. Well, folks, I feel like a real dumb cough. What we've been avoiding are actually raspberries. Look here. Aren't they beautiful? Got a real juicy one over here. I'll pull him out there. And these are incredibly sweet and into the mouth. I mean, they're beautiful, delicious. That is probably poison oak because of the red spine. See it? I think that is poison oak. But you know what? I'm at a loss for words because we found a whole grove of raspberries, and they're just now turning ripe, and the animals haven't got here yet because that's a favorite meal of bears and deer and a lot of other animals are these red ripe raspberries. So they haven't got here yet. I'm gonna have one here and I'm save one for Linda. Anyway, that's a raspberry. Man, delicious. Sweet and sour at the same time. So, we're going to head back out to the car here in a minute, but I want Linda to shoot the camera straight up this little valley here, because this used to be the center of the spiritual area I was telling you about. And after the rains, all of the rocks fell down off of the sides of the mountain, and the trees fell down and filled it in. It's still beautiful, and very difficult for deer to get in here. I don't know about bears, but deer to get in here, because if you look right at the base of this gully, you can see there's some raspberries there as well as here. Normally, if they could get in here, they'd eat these red raspberries. So anyway, this used to be the place I came to for, 12, 15 years, I guess, until the Hayman fire. And been a struggle getting up here, but I think you'd agree. This is a natural wonder. This is what, that all four quadrants fall within. Having the idea of what's going to give you the itches and what won't, what you can eat, what you can't, that's an intellectual. The physical thing is that we actually have to hike into this place, of course, and then the emotional is the emotional context that you may have, the intrinsic, giving this kind of view an intrinsic value and a feeling. I do that. I don't know if it's natural or not, but I do it as American Indian, and I got that from my mother. My stepdad, God bless him, rest his soul, he died about 7 months ago, and he taught me the intellectual, how to sustain, how to repair cars, how to do math and things that I probably was very blessed in having him in my life. But my mother, she taught me about this. And it's both a joyous occasion to be able to make it this far into the gully and kind of sorrowful occasion to see that you can't really traverse this area anymore like you used to. But that's okay. It's coming back. Survival. It's Greywolf Howls. Greywolf Howls. Saying all to you. Love Mother Earth. Respect her. Take care of her. So she can regain her strength. And don't start fires, please. Don't do that. There are things you do. And there was a guy went to the doctor. He said, "Doc, every time I lift my arm, it hurts." You know what the doc said? Don't do that. Okay, don't start fires. Thank you. Bye-bye. All right?